Well, we have a full auditorium. This is very good. The sound is good. I'm talking. Okay, so, well, I'm Lucas. I work as a data scientist and also a product owner of the data science team in Getninjas.
Hi, my name is Pedro and I'm a data scientist.
Well, in the last talk, they talk about the structure of the data team, and it's a thing that we have a multidisciplinary team, like it was said in the last talk. So we have data scientists, we have a backend developer there, we have a Python developer there too, and we work together to deliver the projects. We have a life cycle of the projects that is like, first we have an analysis, then we have a modeling phase, then we implement the algorithm, then we have the integrations to the other systems of the company, and in the end we make dashboards and stuff to see the metrics and to see if the project is performing well, when we need to put attention on it, and so on. So I will start with how Getninjas work. I don't know if some people here already used it or some people know it. Can you raise your hands who knows Getninjas or used it? Oh, it's a lot of people. So, well, back then we didn't have a data science team, and this project was done when we didn't have this team. It's just a bunch of data scientists spread all over the other teams of the company. So how does Getninjas work? Well, we make a bridge of clients, regular people, to service providers. So if I need an electrician, a housekeeper, someone to fix my phone, anything, I can go there. I can choose what kind of service I need. We will indicate the professionals for you, and then you can hire the one you like the most, the one that have the best price or whatever characteristics you like. Well, to the service provider, he will enter in our app. He will choose what services he may be interested in solving, and then he will unlock the contact of the client and will talk to the client and try to negotiate and try to get the service for himself. So this is how the platform works. In the last year, the last 12 months, we have like 2 million services that was done in our platform from clients. We had 200,000 profiles, and there's a lot of money that goes through our platform in the last 12 months. We attend 100 or more categories, so like I said, housekeeper, phone technicians, lawyers, electricians, any kind of services we have in the platform, music teachers and so on. So it's a very large area that we manage. We manage all of the cities in Brazil currently. It's a very spread territory to keep the supply and demand balanced. We need to have profiles in everywhere, and we need to have clients to these pros, because if we have just just clients, we need pros to solve their problems, and if we have pros paying, we need to have clients to get services. So I told you in the beginning that the pros have to unlock clients' contacts. He enter in the app and choose one contact to purchase. But we didn't work like that in the last year, in the last 3-4 years. So starting in the middle of the last year, we migrate to this model. But before, we have a subscription model. So the pro enter in the platform, pay a fixed amount of money, like $100, and we send them a contact that we choose. So we receive a client request, we choose which pros will receive the request, and we send to 3, 4, or 5 pros. So in average, the pros receive like one contact for each day. for 100 bucks a month. And now with this new model, the pro pays 100 bucks, purchases credits. So with these credits, he enters in the app and he chooses what service he wants. So why we choose this model? Before, the pros just received one contact per day. Now he can purchase how many as he likes, as soon as we have the clients in the region. Clients will always receive interest pros. Before we choose the pros, we don't know if the pro are busy solving another client's problem. We don't know if the pro was in vacation or anything like that. So now if the pro is going in the app and purchasing the contact, the chance that he wants to solve that problem is much, much bigger. And it's really more feasible to balance this supply and demand problem. So we now have the pros purchasing credits. It's easier to allocate the marketing efforts and other stuff in the regions that we have more credits, more pros purchasing credits. And we have the advantage here that the credits didn't expire. Before, if the pro pays a signature and didn't receive, we didn't have clients in that time, it was difficult to keep it fair for him. Now the credits didn't expire, so if something happens and we don't have clients in that month, he can purchase in the next month. So it softens this problem. Come back just a little bit. We were doing phased rollouts. This is important. We started at the south in September. Then we go north in October. And in this year, we finished the rollouts to all of the regions. So this problem occurs when we did our first launch in south. When we did this first launch, a problem emerged that we didn't know about. Before, in the signature model, all of the clients would have 3 pros allocated. Now, 29% of the clients in our platform were not being purchased by any pros. So almost 1/3 of the clients enter there in Getninjas, put a request, and no one's won that request. If we had the whole country in this new model, we could have like 500,000 people in a year that will enter in Getninjas and will not have an answer of any pro. And this is a very bad experience for the client. He enters there, spends time putting the request, and didn't get any answer from the Getninjas. Our next launch was in 2 weeks when we detect this problem. We had the launch in September, and the next launch that I show in the map in North region and Center region was like in October, and we had this huge problem to solve. So we made some analysis. This analysis showed us that actually it was a large number of factors, such as price. We might be pricing the request wrong. The location, maybe the request is in a neighborhood that we just don't have pros wanting to go there to solve the problems. Maybe it's a dangerous neighborhood. Maybe it's too far. Clients that just want to test the platform, just estimate prices. We have like requests lacking a good description. We have miscategorized services, like for example, we have electrician category. That is an electrician to go to your house and solve like electric panels and so on. And we have another category that is for home, I don't know the word in English, but it's like to fix a blender. So this is not for an electrician. This is in technical support. And sometimes blender fix services came to electrician, and an electrician will not buy a blender support service. So this is a problem too. Maybe there is just not enough pros with credit in their area, so no one will purchase the service. Well, resuming, it was a lot of problems. These problems was not easy to solve in 2 weeks. Actually, it was impossible to solve all this in 2 weeks. And summing to that, we have, coming back to the map, imagine we have all the Brazil in our platform, we have all of this area to cover, and we have to solve every one of that problem in every point in this map. It was like really impossible to solve in a fast way. We are solving these problems until now, and maybe we will need more 1 year from now to solve every one of them. So what should we do to continue to launch our new model in the new areas without needing to concern about that problem?
Okay, so that's enough of the problem. Now I'm going to start talking about the solution. The first option to this problem was to simply tell the client the truth. So we could simply tell him, sorry, but unfortunately, we don't have any pros available to meet your needs right now. But we thought of a better option. So what if we could predict that the request was not going to be purchased by anyone? So the second option was we could give this service for free for someone that has never purchased a plan before. So we could potentially solve 2 problems with just this approach, kill 2 birds with 1 stone, I think, yeah. So 11% of our pros that never purchased a plan before purchased a bundle after they saw our services store. So, and we only had 4% of our pros as payees at the time. So we've just maintained our conversion rate of 11%. We could more than double our base of payees. So that's the solution. We would give our service for free for people that never purchased a plan before. But how we did that? We already knew the main reasons that why a service was not being sold. So he talked about that like 2 slides ago. And we used them as features to create machine learning models in R. Stuff like neural networks, Gaussian naive Bayes, and decision trees. Some of the features were number of pros with credits, average distance from the pros, number of highly reviewed pros, price, does the service has a text description, and the labels were simply, was this request sold? So it was just a binary classification problem. Right, so we came up with a neural network. It had 79% of accuracy, 70% of specificity, and 9% of sensitivity. But what this means in business, 70% of specificity means that around just 30% of our unsold requests would remain unanswered. So it's from the 100% we had before, now is only 30% of people getting no answers from professionals. And only 10% of our good requests will be distributed for free. So it's not really something big. We validated the model, the neural network, and we chose not to run R in production. So we implemented it in Python, used usual stuff like scikit-learn, pandas, and NumPy. And then we used Neuralab to create the neural network, and the Flask to create the prediction microservice. This has changed quite a bit now. We've been iterating models, and we created our own data science template to create applications. At Getninjas, our projects usually have Mortal Kombat characters named. So this one was Fujin. So at last, Fujin was born. So how fast was this? The first launch in South was in September 19th, and we detected the problem in September 27th. From there, we started doing exploratory data analysis, and we finished it in October 3rd. So 4 days later, we had our machine learning model in R, and we changed it into a Python microservice in 11 days. So basically 2 weeks from finishing the exploratory data analysis to the Python microservice. We had a rollout to North and Center regions in October 23rd, and 3 days later, we had our microservice deployed. Well, In its first month live, Fujin was able to predict 68% of the unsold requests. We expected 70% from the validation, so it's pretty close. With the north and center regions, our unpurchased rate went a little bigger. It went from 29% to 41%, because in the north of Brazil, our supply and demand was a difficult problem to solve due to more locations and everything. However, this 41% of people that got no answers, it went down to 13% thanks to Fujin. So it's pretty good. And there's another side effect that's pretty cool of Fujin. It helps us to increase our gross merchandise volume. So those people that never got contacted now have contacts and now have a chance to get hired. Well, Fujin also helps us to activate free pros to turn them into payees. Well, it made around 25K from purchases from people that were former free pros. They received a lead. And 65% of those guys didn't even have a rep. They just made a registration on our website and never used it. And all of this with only 14% of these free leads being read.
Well, that concludes the project and the results. It was really very great results for the first month. In November, we didn't expect it to raise 25K from free pros in such a fast time. It was really cool for us. Despite of that, we have that problem that only 14% were being read. So one point of improve that we are working on is features to make the pros to read these free contacts we sent to them, such as deep links to the contact in SMS. We are expanding our communication tools to email, to in-app messages, to I don't know, another, and that's all that we're putting efforts on. We want to enhance the model. Now we have more regions with different characteristics, different problems emerged. We have more service categories. So it's a constant work to make the model in a high standard. We have the distribution algorithm. So today we use a simple algorithm. After we detect that the request will not be sold, we need to distribute that to free pros. And the algorithm that we use to distribute is really not intelligent today. It's a simple algorithm that will balance between every free pros. We can put intelligence in that too, to choose the best free pros to distribute the contacts. And the quantity of pros too. Today we made a fixed amount, I think 4. Today is currently the amount that we sent you. But we can change this number to 10 or to 20. Maybe we want to max some metrics and we want to model something in this feature too. And at last, the touch points. I think this is the most important slide in all of the presentation. I think that what is super cool about our project here is that it was made very fast. We discussed things, we make all of these ideas in a few days, and we made it real in just a few weeks. Because we have a non-bureaucratic and non-hierarchical environment. So it's a startup. Everyone has the right to talk and to spread these ideas. And this is really amazing, is really strong for a company to allow people to do that. ML is amazing. I think every presenter here will talk about ML. It's something very great, and I think that everyone here works with ML. And just a warning for everyone, ML is super cool, but we didn't use ML for everything. We use it when we really, really need that. So one thing that a friend of mine like to say is, we do not create a super complicated solution, and then we try to fit it to our problem. We do the opposite. We first start from the problem, find simpler solutions, most of the time that didn't involve ML, and then we really need to put something more complex, we scale to ML. But in 9% of our cases, we didn't need to use ML to solve our problems. And since I have more 1 minute, I want just to share a message from the guys from the academy here from universities. I did a master. We have a PhD at our team too. In academy, we tend to do things with a more slow manner, and it's very nice when you have the environment when you can create things, when you can suggest things, and I don't know, explore your work and all the possibilities using every tools in hand. So that's it. Sorry if I was too nervous presenting.
Well, first of all, let's thank our speakers.
Questions? Yes. We will not have questions.